I'm Jennifer, 29. Standing outside the opulent country club, dressed in a meticulously chosen emerald green dress and clutching a wrapped gift, I was confronted by my parents' stony expressions. "You're not on the guest list," my father said coldly. The words hit me like a sledgehammer, knocking the breath out of me. How could my sister Lily not want me at her wedding? As I reflect on this moment, I'm taken back to our childhood. Lily and I grew up in a large mansion in a wealthy suburb of Chicago. Our parents, Richard and Margaret, were deeply involved in high society circles. My father was a well-known real estate mogul, and my mother was the chairwoman of several prestigious charity organizations. They had a clear vision for their daughters: Ivy League educations, high-profile careers, and marriages to men from equally affluent families. Lily was the perfect daughter in their eyes. She attended Yale, majored in business, and landed a job at a top-tier investment bank. She joined the right clubs, made the right friends, and dated men my parents approved of. Her social media was filled with pictures of fancy parties, yacht trips, and golf tournaments. I, on the other hand, was drawn to the world of dance. From a young age, I was captivated by the grace and expression of movement. Despite my parents' insistence that dance was a frivolous pursuit, I followed my passion. After graduating from the Juilliard School, I moved to New York City to pursue a career as a professional dancer. My small, shabby apartment in Queens, filled with dance shoes and posters of famous ballerinas, was a far cry from the luxury of my childhood home. My irregular work schedule, low income, and free-spirited friends made me the black sheep of the family. Over the years, the distance between Lily and me grew. Our conversations became less frequent, and our interests seemed to diverge. When Lily met Alexander at a charity ball 2 years ago, our already strained relationship began to fall apart. Alexander came from an old and wealthy Chicago family. He was a partner in a law firm and was well connected in the city's elite circles. 6 months after they started dating, I was called home for a special family dinner. "Alexander is amazing," my mother gushed as she set the table with the family's finest china. "His family is one of the most respected in Chicago." That evening, I watched as Lily transformed in Alexander's presence. Her natural laughter was replaced by a forced giggle, and she interrupted me every time I talked about my dance performances. 2 months later, the engagement was announced via a lavish email sent to the entire family and their social contacts. I called Lily immediately, genuinely happy for her. "I'm so excited for you," I said. "Thanks, Jen," she replied, her voice sounding distant. When I offered to help with the wedding planning, she hesitated. "Alexander's mother has a planner, and it might be hard for you to help from New York." A week later, I found out through Instagram that Lily had already chosen her bridesmaids. They were all her high society friends and Alexander's sisters. The pictures showed them in matching champagne-colored dresses, looking like they stepped out of a fashion magazine. I texted Lily a simple "congrats" with a heart emoji, trying to hide my hurt. As the wedding date approached, I received no formal invitation. 6 weeks before the big day, I texted Lily directly. "Just checking about the wedding invitation. I'm planning to take time off work." She replied that it must have gotten lost in the mail and gave me the details of the venue and the time. I was overjoyed. I immediately requested time off from the dance studio where I worked part-time, booked an expensive flight, and bought a beautiful emerald green dress that met the formal dress code. I also selected a wedding gift from their registry, an exquisite crystal chandelier. But now, standing outside the country club, all my hopes were shattered. My mother averted her eyes, while my father's jaw tightened. "Lily specifically asked that you not attend," he said. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was her sister, for heaven's sake. Just then, Alexander's mother, Penelope, approached in a designer suit that probably cost more than my monthly rent. "Is everything all right here?" she asked, her calculating eyes sizing me up. "Jennifer was just leaving," my mother said with forced brightness. I refused to leave without speaking to Lily. Penelope frowned and said, "I handled the guest list personally with Lily, and your name was never on it. Security here is very strict." As if on cue, Two security guards appeared, clearly monitoring our interaction. I was in disbelief. "You called security on your own daughter?" I stared at my parents. My mother quickly replied, "It's standard procedure for family members." I fumbled for my phone and called Lily. It went straight to voicemail. I texted her, "I'm at the venue, but Mom and Dad won't let me in. Please come talk to me." The message was delivered, but remained unread. As I stood there, humiliated and heartbroken, I realized that my family had changed. They had become so consumed by social status and appearances that they were willing to turn their backs on me. Back in my hotel room, I received texts from my friend Maya, who was at the wedding. She told me that Alexander's family had been spreading rumors about me, saying that I was an unstable dancer with a wild lifestyle. My mother had even told people that I couldn't attend due to a mental health issue. I was devastated. I had lost not only my sister's wedding but also my place in the family. But then I thought about my friends in New York. Maya, Jake, and the rest of my dance community. They were the ones who supported me, who loved me for who I was. I decided to drive back to New York instead of flying. Along the way, I stopped at quiet beaches and small dance studios. I used my sketchbook to capture the emotions of this painful experience. Each sketch was a way for me to reclaim my story. When I finally arrived in New York, my friends were there to welcome me with open arms. They listened to my story, comforted me, and encouraged me to channel my pain into my dance. Miguel, a fellow dancer, suggested that I talk to a choreographer he knew who was working on a project about family and identity. I took his advice and reached out to the choreographer, Emily. She was immediately interested in my story and my unique perspective. She offered me a spot in her upcoming performance. 6 months later, I was on stage, performing in front of a packed audience. The performance was a powerful exploration of family, rejection, and self-discovery. After the show, I received a standing ovation. That evening, I received an unexpected letter from Lily. In it, she wrote that her marriage to Alexander was not what she expected. His family's expectations were suffocating, and she was starting to understand my choices. She said she missed me and hoped that we could rebuild our relationship on my terms. I sat with the letter for a long time, thinking about my response. I knew that I needed to set clear boundaries, but I also recognized the courage it took for her to reach out. I decided to write back, telling her that I was open to starting a new conversation, but only if it was based on mutual respect and honesty. In the end, being excluded from Lily's wedding was a painful experience, but it also led me to discover my true family, the friends who stood by me through thick and thin. It taught me that true belonging is not about social status or family lineage, but about being accepted for who you are.